The quiet reason many adults over 60 feel older than they should. If you are over 60, there is something quietly shortening your healthy years, even if you believe you are eating right. It does not arrive as a medical emergency. It does not come with flashing warning signs. It shows up quietly, in heavier mornings, slower healing, and the strange feeling that your body feels older than your age. Many older adults do not realize this because they followed the advice they trusted for decades. Low fat, high protein, 3 meals a day. Finish what is on your plate. And yet, despite eating carefully, something still feels wrong. You wake up tired before the day even begins. Your joints stay stiff longer. Your blood sugar feels harder to steady. And a quiet thought begins to form. Is this just aging? Or did I miss something important? I am Dr. James. For many years, I have worked with older adults across America who did everything right on paper, yet felt their strength, clarity, and confidence slipping away. What changed my understanding was studying communities known as the Blue Zones, places where people live into their 90s and beyond, not in hospitals, but in their homes, gardens, and neighborhoods. They are not chasing trends. They are not obsessed with protein counts or restriction. They follow a way of eating now known as the Blue Zones diet, built around simple longevity foods that reduce inflammation, steady blood sugar, and support the body's natural repair systems. Have you ever wondered why people in the Blue Zones diet live up to 20 years longer, often with fewer medications and more independence? Comment 1 if this question has crossed your mind. 0 if it has not. In the next few minutes, you may realize something hopeful. Your body is not failing you. Your body is still trying to heal. And when you give it the right longevity foods, in the right rhythm, it often responds better than you expect. Stay with me. The first habit may challenge everything you were taught about eating after 60. Why people in the Blue Zones eat less meat than you expect. One of the most surprising things about the Blue Zones diet is this. Meat is not the center of the plate. For many older adults in America, this idea feels uncomfortable. We grew up believing that protein meant strength, that meat protected muscles, and that eating less of it would make us weaker with age. But people who follow the Blue Zones diet eat meat very differently. Not every day, not in large portions, often only a few times a week, and sometimes even less. What makes this important after 60 is not meat itself. It is what too much animal protein quietly does to an aging body. The reason this becomes dangerous is that it happens silently. This is not meant to scare you, but when excess animal protein increases low-grade inflammation and pushes blood sugar higher, the body works harder just to stay balanced. Over time, this process speeds up aging. I once worked with a 71-year-old man who believed he was doing everything right. Eggs and bacon for breakfast, a protein shake before lunch, steak or chicken most nights. On paper, it looked healthy. In reality, he felt tired, inflamed, and frustrated. When we gently shifted his meals toward the Blue Zones diet, focusing on longevity foods like beans, greens, olive oil, and whole grains, something unexpected happened. Within weeks, his energy improved. His digestion settled. His blood sugar became steadier. Here is the simple science. Your cells are like factories that have been running for decades. Heavy inputs every day create more waste than older factories can easily clean. Longevity foods from plants create less stress, making this one of the most effective anti-inflammatory diets for seniors. Many older adults do not realize this because meat feels familiar and comforting. But after 60, strength comes from efficiency, not excess. You do not need to eliminate meat. You only need to change its role. Try building just one meal a day around longevity foods, with meat as a small addition, not the main focus. This single shift, inspired by the Blue Zones diet, can lower inflammation and give your body space to recover. And stay with me, because what people in the Blue Zones eat matters. But when they eat, may matter even more. Why, when you eat, matters more after 60 than what you eat. When I first studied the Blue Zones diet, I assumed the secret was mostly about food. More vegetables, fewer processed meals, simple longevity foods cooked at home. But there was another pattern hiding in plain sight. People who follow the Blue Zone's diet do not eat late, not because they are strict, not because they count hours, but because their bodies follow a rhythm that modern life has slowly disrupted. For many older adults in America, dinner has drifted later over the years. A full meal after the evening news, a small snack during television, something before bed that feels harmless. What makes this dangerous after 60 is that it rarely feels like a problem. This is not meant to scare you. But when eating continues late, blood sugar stays elevated, insulin never fully settles, and autophagy after 60 never fully turns on. Autophagy after 60 is your body's built-in repair system. Think of it as the night cleaning crew. When food stops coming in earlier, autophagy after 60 finally gets the quiet time it needs. Old proteins are recycled, damaged cell parts are cleared away, inflammation gradually calms. This is one reason the Blue Zone's diet supports longevity without extreme fasting. I remember a 8-year-old woman who came to see me feeling stiff every morning and drained by midday. She ate carefully and avoided sugar. Nothing seemed obviously wrong. We did not change what she ate. We changed when she ate. She moved dinner earlier by about 90 minutes. That was all. Within weeks, her sleep deepened. Her mornings felt lighter. Her joints loosened faster. She could not believe something so simple made such a difference. Here is the science in everyday language. Your body is like a city that schedules repairs at night. Autophagy after 60 is the crew that fixes cracks and clears debris. When eating runs late, it is like keeping traffic moving all night. The crew cannot work. Many older adults do not realize this because they believe fasting must be extreme to help. It does not. This is not about skipping meals. It is about respecting your internal clock. Try one gentle step. Finish your last meal earlier, even by 1 hour, and notice how your body responds. This timing, paired with longevity foods from the Blue Zone's diet, creates one of the most sustainable anti-inflammatory diets for seniors without stress or deprivation. And stay with me, because the next habit explains why many people eat less, yet feel worse, and how the gut quietly controls energy, mood, and the pace of aging. Why many older adults eat less but feel worse. There is a quiet frustration I hear almost every week from people over 60. I'm eating less than I used to. I'm cutting back on sugar. I'm trying to be careful. So why do I feel worse, not better? This is where the Blue Zone's diet reveals something most older adults were never taught. Longevity is not only about how much you eat, or even when you eat. It is about gut health for seniors and who you are feeding first. In the Blue Zone's diet, people unknowingly follow a simple pattern. They feed their gut before they feed their muscles. For many Americans, this feels backward. We were raised to believe energy comes from calories and strength comes from protein. But after 60, gut health for seniors quietly becomes the control center for energy, mood, and inflammation. What makes this dangerous is that poor gut health happens silently. This is not meant to scare you, but when gut bacteria decline, inflammation rises, blood sugar becomes harder to control, and even healthy food feels heavy. The body spends energy digesting instead of repairing. I once worked with a 72-year-old man who told me, "Dr. James, I barely eat anymore, but I feel worse than when I ate more." His meals were small and clean, but they lacked longevity foods that support gut health for seniors. When we gently shifted his meals toward the Blue Zone's diet, focusing on longevity foods like beans, leafy greens, oats, and fermented vegetables, something changed, not overnight, but steadily. His digestion improved. His mood lifted. His afternoons felt lighter again. Here's the science in everyday language. Your gut is like a garden. When it is fed and diverse, everything above it thrives. When it is neglected, weeds take over, inflammation grows, energy fades. Longevity foods feed the bacteria that calm inflammation and support blood sugar balance. This is why the Blue Zone's diet is often described as one of the most effective anti-inflammatory diets for seniors. Many older adults do not realize this because they confuse eating less with eating better. But eating less of the wrong foods can quietly starve the gut. Try one gentle step today. Add one gut-friendly longevity food to your meals. A half cup of beans. A serving of greens. A spoon of fermented vegetables. Notice how your energy responds. And stay with me, because the final habit may be the most powerful of all. It explains why even healthy food can speed up aging when we never allow the body to pause and recover. Why eating less can help you live longer after 60. There is one final habit that quietly separates people who age faster from those who stay steady well into later life. It may surprise you, because it has nothing to do with sugar, carbs, or fat. It is how much you eat, even when the food is healthy. In the Blue Zone's diet, people rarely eat until they are full. They stop earlier. They pause. They leave the table feeling satisfied, not stuffed. In Okinawa, there is a phrase for this: harahachibu. It means eating until about 80% full. For many older adults in America, this feels unfamiliar. We were taught to finish our plates, to get our money's worth, to keep eating while the food is still warm, even when the body is already saying enough. But after 60, overeating quietly speeds up aging, even with longevity foods. This is not meant to scare you, but when the body is always digesting, it never truly rests. Blood sugar rises more often. Inflammation stays active longer. Autophagy after 60, the repair system, struggles to turn on. I once worked with a woman in her early 70s who followed what most doctors would call a perfect diet. Plenty of vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. All longevity foods, no junk. Yet she always ate until she was full. When she learned to stop earlier, without changing what she ate, something shifted. Her digestion felt lighter, her sleep deepened, her afternoon energy returned. She said, "It feels like my body finally has time to breathe." See, here is the simple explanation. Your body after 60 is like a car that has been on the road for decades. It still runs beautifully, but it needs more pauses between trips. Constant fueling, even with the best fuel, wears the engine down. The Blue Zone's diet works not only because of longevity foods, but also because of restraint. Gentle restraint. This is why many researchers describe it as a natural way to eat less and live longer. Many older adults do not realize this because hunger and fullness signals change with age. Eating more slowly helps those signals return. Pausing halfway through a meal gives the body time to speak. Try this tonight. Slow down. Pause halfway through your meal. Notice how you feel tomorrow morning. This simple habit, paired with the Blue Zone's diet, longevity foods, and better timing, forms one of the most sustainable ways to eat less and live longer without stress or deprivation. And remember this: your body can still change. Every small choice you make is a vote for healing. If one habit stood out to you, share it in the comments. And if you want to keep learning how to support your body after 60, consider subscribing.